You're happy if you just don't mess yourself up in your head.
Yeah, you can do this. Like you can just let it go.
When you're a little kid, it's not like you have to walk around and think, how do I be happy?
Because you have this in your mind where like you're just so like structured with this is what I can do, this is what I can't do.
You didn't create all this garbage in your head because you're so desperate. You think that you cannot live without X, Y, or Z. Flies away, oh, flies away. Gavin,
Hello?
we're live.
We're live?
We're live. How you doing?
No, I didn't know. I'm sorry. I'm fucking around, dude. I'm sorry.
Pre-show small
Nothing
talk.
much.
What's up?
Nothing much.
What were you just doing? What did we catch
You
you
gotta
doing?
tell me this stuff. You guys just go
It's right
live.
there. It's right there in the upper left. Awareness.
I know. Awareness. Let's talk about it. No, fuck that. Introduce this. I feel awkward.
Hey, I just had the best bike ride. I was smelling the seasons. I was hearing the birds. I was singing. It feels like the first day of fall. I felt like it was winter. Today was a little bit of a winter day. I feel good. I had a banana chocolate smoothie with goji berries and pumpkin seeds.
I'm still like
Yo.
I want to take like 15 minutes to just like go ahead.
Hey,
No.
let's get right into the show. We don't have
Yeah.
that much time today. What are we
sure.
talking about? We're talking about anxiety, worrying, and how to live free from that. Okay, so this is how we're going to set up the show. Guys, this is full-fledged life. We talk about life transformational topics so that you can be healthier, happier, and live strong. You know, I was thinking about this on my bike ride. I was like, you're happy if you just don't mess yourself up in your head. You don't have to create happiness. All you have to do is not fuck it up in your head. Because think about it, when you're a little kid, it's not like you have to walk around and think, how do I be happy? How do I be happy? You're just not worrying. You didn't create all this garbage in your head. As you go through life, you get pain, you get suffering, you create fear from getting pain and suffering. You create an identity based on that, and then that's what messes you up. But this is super simple. Removing worry and anxiety, that's what we're talking about. It's not a complicated process. Sometimes you'll need work. Sometimes it'll take some deconstructing of patterns that you've practiced so much here. You become an expert at it. People even say like, I'm a worrier. None of that anymore. You gotta drop that. Once you start thinking that I'm a worrying person, I'm a nervous person, you're already lost.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about how to remove that. We're gonna talk about people who are steeped in worry and anxiety and fear. We're gonna talk about people who just have a little bit of it. And this is the layout of the show. We're just gonna share our stories. We're gonna talk about
Sure.
micro level. Like, I'm just a little bit worried about like this new thing. We're gonna talk about how to deal with that. We're gonna talk about macro, like you just feel like you're not a peaceful person. You have a problem. You worry about everything. We're gonna talk about that. And we're gonna close out the show with some practical tips from a book, How to Stop Worrying and Start Living, by Dale Carnegie. I have an outline of like 10 of the topics. I'm gonna fire them at Gavin, see what Gavin Silverman thinks, and it's gonna be fun. So let's kick this thing off. Gavin, you don't seem like a very worryful person. Have you ever been?
Of
What's
course.
your story, man?
Yeah. Like when I was younger, I wasn't noticeably worried. I can't say that I was like I noticed myself being worried, but when I started growing up, and started like getting into more perspective and like the way I think and stuff, um, that's when I started noticing myself to worry. So yeah,
You started worrying a little bit more once you got around the age of like being an adult.
I
What
would
were you
say
thinking
like
about? Were you thinking about money? Were you
high
thinking what were you
school,
thinking about?
high school.
What was worrying to you?
Um, like what people anticipate what people say, like a lot of times, like how the situation is gonna go. Because I was in my head for a lot of years, and like really in my head to the point where it was like it just I didn't even differentiate, not like in a like a mental disorder or anything, but so yeah, I just worried about what people are going to do and how something's going to turn out, and I'm almost like I kind of shut off because like I'm like I don't know, I just get
Social anxiety.
yeah,
I think
what
everybody can relate to that. Oh
for
my
sure,
God. It's so
yeah, social
interesting, right?
anxiety,
The
it's
feeling of
weird,
being a kid, you can
yeah,
just sit there and start making sounds. You don't
yeah,
care about what anybody thinks. And then we grow up and we start getting paranoid for so many different reasons.
yeah,
So, that's so interesting. I suffered with that. I suffered and suffered and suffered with that for so long.
for
Just
sure,
social anxiety, even talking to somebody. People are worried about talking to another person. People can't even look at another person's eyeballs without
right,
feeling anxiety and worry and fear.
definitely, yeah.
So this is something that's like a plague. Little kids can do it. Little
I
kids
think
can relax.
I think it has a lot to do with the movies that we've seen and the stories that we hear. It's a lot about stories because when we hear stories, we worship. Sometimes we worship stories as something that could happen in real life. And if we see a situation in reality where it could happen, like a story we've seen before, we almost fill in the blank. We almost anticipate it. So I think anticipation is a big part of worrying, and I think that you have to create like a calm assurance. Like you kind of have to wait it out. Like you have to create distance of like just because you think it doesn't mean it's going to happen. Just because you're sure, just because your mind is sure that something's going to play out a certain way, doesn't mean that you should anticipate and get ready for that moment to happen. So I think we just need to like take a chill pill when we're like just observing, being aware of our of what's going on, because we don't know what's going to happen, and we think we know. I still think I know what's going to happen, but that's okay because that's like something that your brain is doing, and that's where it comes into where you have to distance your brain from who you are, and I think that's a part of wearing too.
Hey, let's unpack exactly what you said. What you said
Oh
had
yeah,
so much in it. So
bro,
I'm
for
gonna
real.
break it down. I'm gonna
Yeah,
break it down if that's cool with you, man. I'm
yeah,
just
go
gonna
for it,
like
dude.
I'm gonna
For sure,
break
dude.
this down right here. Okay, so
For sure,
you
they need to
talked
hear it,
about
bro.
the story.
Yeah,
Okay, so the mechanics of worry, it comes from your self-image and your identity. So if you feel like you're a person who is who is nervous or
yeah,
inferior in social
right,
situations,
for sure.
that identity is going to generate feelings of anxiety, insufficiency, worry. If your identity is a person who's calm, lighthearted, fun, confident, then you're not going to generate those thoughts because you're not telling yourself the stories. See, the stories and the movies that we play in our head that scare us, that make us feel the anxiety, comes from our identity. So the core essence of how to fix the worry and the fear is to change how you view yourself. If you change how you view yourself and you view yourself as a person who, no matter what happens, you're going to be okay. You're not afraid of losing all your money because you feel like even if that happened, you can rebuild. You could be happy. So whatever kind of worry feelings you're having, look at your self-image, and we have to change that self-image, which is creating the thoughts and the worry and all the movies that you play in your head. And that's the definition of fear and anxiety, is you're playing these movies of catastrophe, failure, and that's creating these feelings that you don't even want to have. So we'll dig into that a little bit more of how to change your self-image, because that's a huge thing.
And practical things that you can do, because I know just thinking like seeing yourself differently, like all right, I'm gonna see myself differently, I'm a not worried person, fuck. So
There's
like
techniques. There's
yeah, there is
techniques.
technique, yeah,
So
Yeah.
I want to talk a
Like,
little bit more about this so that it drives a little bit more home. Let's make another
yeah.
example. Personal example. I saw myself as a shy person. Okay, so because I saw myself as a shy person, I would get nervous even going up to people because I would feel in my head like, oh no, what are they going to think about me? I need their acceptance.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
that's one
That
example.
like
And that's super
everything's
common.
okay. Like,
If we want to talk about the mechanics of why you even have that self image, it's because, well, I had that self image because previous occurrences of pain, rejection made me think inside my heart that I'm inferior or I'm not smooth in social circumstances. And so that's where it comes from. And then we're worried about experiencing that pain and suffering again. And so that's where the fear comes from. So we have to break how we see ourselves. All
yeah.
right.
We
All
do.
right.
Yeah.
That's a deep thing. We could come out with like all these little tips and tricks. This is the root cause. So this is like the long-term macro game. If you want to have peace, if you really want to get at the root of where the fear and the worry and the anxiety is coming from, you have to take the long-term route of changing how you see yourself. So, okay, we can unpack about how to do that. We'll do that in a second. The other thing is your beliefs. All right. So let's talk about beliefs. I believed that I needed this person's acceptance to feel happy. So,
Hold on, Grandpa. I'm doing a show. Doing a show. Yeah. He's the
all right,
funniest
Grandpa's
guy.
chilling with us now,
You
right?
should come on the show, bro. He knows all about this shit. Go ahead.
That would be cool. Let's do it.
No, the funniest
Tag
man,
team.
old man you're ever gonna meet, and most genuine. He's not like a disrespectful grandpa. He's like funny as funny guy.
Either way, we'll have him
Yeah.
on. Let's do it. Hey, so let's talk
Yeah.
about values and beliefs because that's another
Sure.
deep thing. Because if
Values
you
and
have
beliefs.
values and beliefs
Reading
that
this.
make you think that you need money to be happy, then naturally you're going to worry about not having it and you're going to
Yeah,
freak out
bro,
when circumstances come up that take away your money. You're going to flip out. But
bro.
if you believe that you can be happy without it, then boom, you just erase that
Yeah,
underlying root that could be causing a
yeah,
lot of anxiety, fear, neediness, attachment, and this goes for anything. Think about if you think that you need a boyfriend or a girlfriend to be happy, you're gonna be nervous if you don't get it.
and
So
that's a
that
whole
belief,
thing,
you gotta examine your values, your beliefs, because that could be another thing.
bro.
What's on
Let
your
me say
mind?
something. So I imagine it like beliefs. I imagine is like abilities. Like if you're playing a game, like a video game or something, and you have all these abilities, where one ability is to be really good at like talking to a group of people, and let's say that your like weakness is like one-on-one situations, and like a Pokemon thing, and you're gonna because you created this character of who you think you are and who you built, and you kind of like can be like, all right, that's that, these are my strengths, and you created, you kind of like, what is it called, self-fulfilling prophecy, where you're already going to go into the, because you have this in your mind where like you're just so like structured with, this is what I can do, this is what I can't do. So that goes with what you're saying, just to give it a different light.
Yeah. Yo, I'm feeling this.
Yeah,
So if you believe that you can't be happy without something, you lose. If you can't let go of the idea that life might take away anything from you,
well, is it a game, isn't it?
if you can't let go,
Yeah,
if you can't be okay with the possibility of life doing stuff to you, you're naturally going to have to worry because you're so desperate. You think that you cannot live without X, Y, or Z, a relationship, money, your
yeah,
physical health, whatever you attach yourself to and cling to, inevitably you have to worry about losing it. So you got to change your self-image and your beliefs. You got to understand that no matter what happens, you can be okay. These are underlying root beliefs that if you don't deal with, you're just going to be putting band-aids on worry and anxiety
yeah,
and you'll
understand
never
how it
be free.
works.
You will never be free
Yeah,
if you think that you can't let go. You got to be able to let go because
yeah,
sometimes Life comes at you and you can't control it. You cannot control whether or not someone's going to cooperate. And so if in your mind you think, if this person doesn't cooperate, I'm ruined.
Yeah.
You have to worry and be fearful about this. This just happened to me. All right, so let me make
Sure.
this real practical. I'm selling this mobile home. Okay. I made a
Yeah.
little mistake and I gave the person the keys when they gave me a deposit. Okay. So if they
Mhm.
didn't give me the rest of the money, then they would have a key. So I made a little strategy mistake. Whoops. Whoopsie. So for 2 days, I would wake up in the morning and think, oh my God, I'm not in control anymore. This person doesn't have to give me the money. And this person could be living in that home right now with all their homies, all their thugs, and I could
No
be
pun
screwed.
intended.
There is no guarantee that I can come out of this. I could be completely cheated and screwed. So there's no guarantee. And so worry, anxiety, fear came to me, and my mind started creating all these situations like, what if this happens? What if that happens? What if her homies are there? What if they got machetes? And so naturally, it started generating all these things. Why? Because my self image, first and foremost, was, oh man, I need this money. I really need this money. If I don't have this money, I am vulnerable. I am afraid, and I know for a fact that's where it was coming from. I'm still erasing those programs. We're gonna talk about how to erase those programs. Second of all, my belief, my subconscious belief that was generating those thoughts was, oh man, like if she cheats me out of this money, oh man, like I'm gonna have to be angry. I'm gonna have to be bitter. I'm gonna have to be stressed.
Yeah.
Money, if I lose money, life is terrible. So I started noticing all these things. I just sat down for 3 hours each time that this happens, and I just watched it play out in my head. It was hilarious, but at the same time, it was painful. It was really painful. But I started feeling all these things. And how did I get a release? How did I escape that? I had to look at the reality that, John, if you don't let go, and if you can't let go to the
John.
fact that this might go horribly wrong and you might not get your money. If you can't let go of that and accept
Right.
that as something that could happen, you
Sure.
must worry. There is no other way out of it. So I had to look at that and I had to say, John, even if you lose all the money and it goes as bad as it can,
Hmm.
could you
Yeah.
accept that and move on? And once I was really able to look at that, I struggled, I wrestled with it a little bit. Once I was really able to accept it and say, hell, if that thing just exploded right now, I'm still here. I'm still breathing. I can rebuild. That's not me. I'm me. Why is that ruining me? Why is that idea controlling me? That's not my life. This is my life. I could always make more money. No big deal. I could laugh about it. I could tell a story about it. In 10 years, in 5 years, in 1 year, doesn't matter. When I'm looking
Yeah.
back, I could just laugh about it. That's what helped me a lot. I had to let go, but you can't let go if you believe that you need it to be happy. You gotta be able to look at yourself differently. You gotta be able to let go of those beliefs, those clinging beliefs, and you gotta be able to say yes to life no matter what happens. I'm still here. I'm still
And
here.
like letting go, it's not a textbook thing. Like as contextualized as we're making it seem, we're not. What we're trying to do is we're trying to cheer you on and be like, yeah, you can do this. Like you can just let it go. Like when we say how to let it go, it might not be the way that you have to let it go. So I think that you have to like it's that's why it's so important because we're not living your life. We don't know what goes on in your head. We don't know what's going on in your story and whatever, like your past or whatever. So or the situation. So it's like you have to be aware. You have to be aware. You have to be like, all right, hold on. What am I feeling right now? Like you have to be your own advocate. You have to be your own advisor. You have to be your own good. You have to be what we're trying to be for you because we can't be it for you. It's you who's actually doing it. We're just showing you that it's possible. So I think that like yeah, that's basically it. I mean, like you
Like you
just
have to notice what's
yeah.
going on in your own head, what your own beliefs are, and what your own self-image is so that you can work with it. Is
And
that
if
the essence of what you're
yeah,
saying?
and if this is foreign, yeah, I mean, if this is foreign, because to me, when I'm in a situation when I'm like, oh man, I'm so worried, all of that contextual stuff. Like when I'm stressed out to do a math problem, and someone starts telling me how to, the teacher keeps going on, and I'm sitting here like I can't do this. Is the painful. This is the type of math I don't like to do. And when when I'm like not stressed and it's like okay, and then she explains it again, then I get it on point. I'm on if I do it the next day, I'm on point. So it's very like just because just because you're in a stress thing, you don't need to make a decision, right? Like while you're stressed. It's not like what do you think you're gonna come up with? Like the best stress reliever while you're stressed? Like the hell does that? Promise yourself this. Say when I'm not stressed and it's the next day or something, I'm going to make it a point to figure out like I'm going to write down because this is what you're eventually going to do. You're going to write down what makes you stressed or you're going to get help from someone else. You're going to say, "You know what? I'm going to get a therapist cuz I keep having these stressful things at night and I can't take it anymore. I got to take control. I got to take control. I got to be aware. No one's going to I mean, I hear all this different stuff like what they're telling me, but you have to literally be like, you know what? I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna say I can do it. I'm not gonna say I can relieve stress, but I'm going to figure it out. I'm I have to do something, but it
Yeah,
doesn't have to be right now. So
you're gonna make a change. Yeah, you
we
gotta
make a change.
decide. You gotta make a
Sure.
change and know that it's gonna feel good. Don't think that
Yeah.
it's gonna be too much work. It's gonna be so good. It's gonna feel good. You have to feel good. You have to think that it's gonna feel good and it's gonna be good for you, or else you just won't do it.
Yeah, bro.
And
If this is me,
you gotta not disbelieve. You gotta not point the finger and say, "This is just how I am." If you do that, that's your decision. You're
your
gonna just
body's
stay
powerful,
stuck.
man. You just sit in
If
that
you just
moment.
point and
Oh,
blame, if you don't take
oh,
responsibility. So that's really the first step, getting yourself to do something. Whether you're going to be your own therapist, whether you're going to seek help, read books, talk to a friend. You said your body's powerful. What do you mean?
dude. Because when you sit in that moment of like you you think of a decision to make and then you want to go do it, but if you just sit in that moment, like if you're just sitting in that moment, you're just like, and it doesn't have to, you just like sit in the moment, you just like you kind of just let it all pass. Like it's kind of like you're the sky and you just let the clouds go by and you just kind of like watch the clouds. Sometimes you have to do that because then out of nowhere, this shit happens to me all the time. A, a bird, a bird. Oh my god, a bird comes swarming in, and it goes, "Hey, hey, dude, you know why you're stressed? It's because you're there's a thunderstorm right above you. You need to come over here, bro. You need to come over here." And then the bird takes you, and you just see this cloud, and like, that's it? Wow, wow.
Oh, you're
Like
talking about like changing your perspective on it and not being too dramatic, being able to zoom out, see
that's
it
a
from
part of
like
it.
bird's eye
That's a part of
view,
it.
and just
But
kind of
but
like laugh at it so that
but
you can
bro,
feel
if you were
different and
just
start changing.
But if you were just like, oh my god, I don't know what to do. Oh my god, and just start, you go, like you're getting rained on, motherfucker. And guess what? If you see and that bird sees you doing that, guess what's gonna happen? That bird ain't gonna go near you because that bird thinks you're having a stroke, and the bird can't help you. Even though that bird wants to help you, you're having a stroke. So you really need to like just sit in the moment. Like your body's not dumb. Like, god damn it, bro. You tell him, bro. Your body's not dumb. You don't think your body knows how to relieve stress, bro? That's the least of our worries. You know what? That's the least of our worries. Are you kidding me? There's so many bigger stuff out there than 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 understanding if your body can relieve stress. Your body can, man. Our bodies, like, I think we look at the small stuff and we want to fix the small stuff, but if we just like step away from it, you just see a whole. Just I don't know. There's so many ways of explaining it, but
The way that you explain
um,
things is so funny
bro, I love it
and
because
so
I can't.
encoded.
I
It's
can't
really
like.
it's a lot of feeling. It's a lot of emotion.
Yeah,
I'm sure a lot of people who are really like intuitive and smart know exactly what you're talking about, and it just
yeah,
boom, like it makes so much sense. For the
bro.
people who are like analytical and just logical,
Right.
what I'm feeling, what Gav is saying is,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
if you're just stuck and you have all these feelings of stress, worry, anxiety,
Mm,
first and foremost, get a
like
different
it.
perspective. Start feeling good. Do whatever you have to. Get a different perspective. Start laughing at it. Get feeling good in your body. Go do a freaking
Yeah, like
workout. Go
for real.
laugh.
I
Go
know. Go
go
color,
let
bro.
loose and dance. Once you have a different body feeling, your mind feels different because your body is your brain. And so, yeah, that's great advice. All those things are great self-management principles that boom, it can instantly give you clarity and the ability to feel better instantly. You don't have to go through your brain. You can go through your body to get your brain thinking clearer, better. So that's a great short-term strategy. Self-management. Change your state, boom, you're thinking better. Love it. Quality.
I know, dude.
Yo, let
Oh,
me unpack. Let's unpack. Let's
yeah.
explore long term, really fundamental, getting to the root cause of your self image and your beliefs. How to change from being a worry, a worryful person, a shy person, a stressed person, an angry person. How do you change that? Because that's the root. That self image is generating all the habitual thoughts that whenever these situations come, trigger. You just get triggered because you practice these thoughts and habits until you actually think that that's how you are. So I got to reference out Dr. Maxwell Maltz. If you're looking for good reading, read Psycho Cybernetics. It's the science of how to change your self image. All right. So let me just really quickly condense this. So
Yeah.
how do you get a self image? Long story short, you constantly think the same thoughts about yourself, about situations, until it just becomes so ingrained, so habitual that it happens automatically. Your identity is a habitual belief, thoughts of who you are, and it keeps on playing out. You just kept on thinking, practicing, and believing it over and over and over again. So you think that you're a shy person because something happened in your life and you kept on thinking about it like, oh, I acted like the shy person, and you just kept on rehearsing that and remembering that, and because you kept on thinking that thought, oh my god, I acted like that, oh my god, I stuttered like that, or oh my god,
Yeah.
that happened, and then you just keep on doing it. So it isn't set in stone, it isn't
Like,
real, it's
oh,
just a practice mindset that you're believing is actually true, and you can
yeah.
change it.
You don't realize that you do. We don't realize that we do. Like that's the fucking craziest part, dude.
Identity is just a
It's
practice
so
belief.
nuts. It's so
It's a
nuts.
thought pattern that you practice so many times, it started happening automatically.
You think you
And
just
then boom,
never is
it's a
that
habit,
good
and
at
then
just
boom.
talking to people.
It just keeps on playing
Where?
itself out.
Oh my god, you're literally just like, yo, chill the fuck out. Like,
So you can change that. For
yeah.
instance, Dr. Maxwell Maltz, he's a
You
plastic
can't.
surgeon. So for
Yeah.
people who think that they're ugly, what he would do is he'd chop their face in different ways. They start seeing themselves differently and thinking different thoughts. Instead of having
Oh,
that big
got you.
nose, that big Squidward
Yeah.
nose, they look in the mirror and they think, "Oh wow, what a pretty face." And so they kept on having those thoughts every day. I'm pretty. I'm pretty. I'm pretty. And so therefore, those constant thoughts makes them think that they're actually pretty. So, but sometimes it didn't work. All right. Sometimes he'd do plastic surgery on people and they wouldn't start thinking differently. That same habit program in their head kept
Yeah.
on saying, still big nose, even though the nose is small, still big nose. So he made an interesting observation that
That you'll
certain
never win.
people, even when you change the outside, the inside program keeps on
Their
saying
brain's too
big
smart.
nose,
Their brain's too
too
smart.
fat. And
I'm
so
too
he was
pretty.
like,
Yo, heard
this
that
is
one
this
before?
is
I'm too
weird.
pretty. I'm just too pretty. I'm just
Too
too pretty.
pretty.
I can't match my prettiness. What? Like when? When is it gonna be like a great time? When?
I don't know, man.
None.
But let me
Probably like
continue what he
yeah.
was
I'm sorry.
saying.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm like going like nuts.
So he noticed that sometimes changing the outside wouldn't change their beliefs and their self-image. So he was like, this is a problem because they think that they need this external change, but what they really need is to change their belief, their self-image. So how relevant is that? It's like a skinny person can still think that they're fat and ugly just because they practice that thought so long and it's so dysfunctional and it's controlling them and it's ruling them. No matter how much fat you cut off or how much plastic surgery you do, they keep on thinking that same thing. So he realized you got to change the mind if you want to change the self-image. You got to change that, or else no external change will make them happy. All right. So, how do you change your self image? The same way you developed your bad self image. So, basically, I want to hear what you think. I want to hear what you
Wait, no,
think.
I was so, dude. Oh fuck, I was so ready for you to just say it, and I was like,
You want to take a shot? How do you
all
create a
right.
bad self image? Because how you create a good self image is how you created the one that you have right now. It's the same thing. It's not magic. It's just
Okay. Um, I started taking control of my life. Like, I took an initiative. I think that's one of the big things that I did. Because when I was younger, people would like, I would get like bullied and stuff in like elementary school. I thought I would sit in the fire and I wouldn't come out of the fire. And
what formed your self
yeah,
image? Like how you feel and think about yourself right now. How did it get there?
of high expectations that I didn't meet. Like I would compare myself to other people, and other things and other experiences, and if and since I wasn't there, and I'm right now I'm at the low thing. So let me just shut up now because like you know I'm the underdog, but
Hmm.
one day I'm coming, motherfuckers. So I think what changed it is I took the initiative and was like, you know what, I have to do it. Like, yo, I've been holding it in for so long. I have to take control. Like I gotta run this ship, man. So
Okay, so whatever you're thinking you are right now, it's like you're thinking that you are that thing because you've constantly been thinking that you're that thing. Okay, so we have to change your imagination. Whenever you think about Gavin,
yeah.
whenever you think Gavin, you think of a certain self-image. Like, oh, Gavin, like he works out sometimes. Like Gavin, he's funny. He's funny. Gavin, like whatever you think about yourself, like Gavin, moderately intelligent, pretty, too pretty, like whatever you think about yourself. All those things, like whatever you think you are, whenever you think about your name,
Yeah.
all those things that are there, it's because you've been convinced that that's really how you are. So habitual thinking patterns, imagining patterns, you keep on reinforcing it with the same thought. So here's how you break that. Let's say you have a self-image of someone who's just lazy. You just constantly convince yourself like you don't follow through, you don't take action. How do you change that? All right. So first thing that you do, you got to start thinking and imagining and feeling that you're the opposite, that you're who you really want to be. The more you practice that new feeling, that new image, that new movie of you taking action, being the person who you want to be, and feeling it like you're experiencing it, you got to feel it. You got to really feel all the details. You got to see yourself doing it. The more you imagine and visualize and see yourself being that person, doing the things, smelling the scents, seeing the scenes, feeling the feelings of success, you're implanting that in your brain. And therefore, you're creating a new pattern that your brain can go into and start thinking that way. You have to incept that possibility. It's inception. You're planting this possibility in your brain. So what you do is he calls it theater of the mind. So you'll close your eyes, get alone, close your eyes, start breathing deep, and then take yourself on an experience. Start thinking about exactly who you want to be, what you want to do. If you're lazy, start thinking about yourself creating everything you want to create. Let's say you want to create let's say you want to create a YouTube channel where everyone's laughing, where you're up there having fun. You're creating beauty, you're creating art. Start imagining it, start seeing it, start feeling it, start seeing it in your mind's eye. Feel yourself doing the typing. Feel yourself how happy you are. Start feeling and seeing and creating in your mind first. As you're doing this, feel the emotions. Feel what it would really feel like to be doing what you really want to do, being who you really want to be. You have to start creating it in your mind. Start feeling everything as intensely as you can. Emotionalize it. Laugh. Start really, really taking yourself there. And as strongly as you can, really experience it. And don't fuck yourself by thinking, what is this? I can't do this. It's not real. If those thoughts come, ignore them. Go back. Don't beat yourself up for feeling those if you start feeling like, oh, I can't. I'm just not that. No, no, no. Just for now, give yourself the pleasant experience of this. Really enjoy it. Let yourself be there. Let yourself create this. Feel the joy of it.
Damn. Whoa.
Experience it, because what you're doing is creating a reality. Your brain cannot tell the difference between your imagination and real experience. That's why when you dream, you feel like it's so real. It's not really happening. It's just your brain imagining and creating, but it feels as real as reality. That's why when you close your eyes and you do this, you're rewiring your brain. You're recreating yourself. You're creating a new possibility. You're setting yourself free because your nervous system experiences it like it's really happening. So you're creating a
Wow.
new pattern that you can think. And the more you do this, the more real it becomes. Because guess what? This is what you're doing every day, anyways. You're doing this subconsciously, accidentally, unconsciously, in a way that you don't want to do. You're creating what you don't want to do. You're creating who you don't want to be on accident. When we don't even realize that subconsciously we do this already. We do this in the wrong direction. We create these scenarios, these movies, and we feel them. We feel the anxiety. We see ourselves going and failing. We see ourselves failing, failing, failing. So all we have to do is flip the script and see ourselves succeeding, succeeding, winning, winning, winning. The whatever you're doing more will dominate you. So this is a process. Because what if you had 30 years of thinking you're a failure? You're a failure. Imagining, feeling that you're a failure. Worrying, creating the failure in your mind, seeing it, feeling it. You feel the fear. You feel the pain when it's not even happening because you're creating it. So all you're doing is creating yourself again in your mind. So you want to stop creating those realities in your mind that you don't want, which takes self-awareness, and you want to start creating what you do want. Whatever you do more of will dominate you. So that's the practice. Do it every day. Do it every day. And honestly, stopping the thoughts, the movies, the negative movies. If you just stop the negative movies, you will be free. You don't even have to necessarily do this whole positive visualization thing. It'll happen automatically if you stop creating the opposite. Because if you stop creating the opposite, you will be happy and free. You will stop feeling like you're insecure. You'll stop feeling like you're inferior. If you just stop creating those things and let them dissolve, we're going to talk about how to do that.
Wow.
Then you're going to start feeling like, wow, I feel alive again. I'm not worrying because I don't feel like I'm that person anymore. I don't feel like I need that relationship to be happy. Therefore, I'm not desperate and worrying that it's not going to happen. You let go and you realize, whoa, like I'm not creating those bullshit stories about myself anymore. And you're going to feel life, and then you're going to really feel like, whoa, like I'm free. I can really create what I want. And you're naturally going to start thinking about what you want, and you're going to be able to create it. It'll naturally happen. This is the natural nature of your intelligence and your brain. As long as you're not messing it up, you'll naturally do these things. Kids do it automatically because they're not fucking themselves in their head. By the way,
Getting
you look
different.
really cool right now. Like your filter looks like you're an angel. Like there's light all around you. Like it's not
Filter,
completely
like,
clear. It looks like there's a mist.
wait, oh, up there on the ceiling?
Like the entire like ambiance in your room looks like you're in heaven.
Wait, let me see.
Look at look at your ambiance.
Wait, hold on.
It's
Oh, dude.
really
Oh,
nice.
dude.
Looks
Wait,
like
why does it? Wait, was I like
an
this the
angel
whole
just
time?
like no, it kind of changed into
You
that.
look like you're in hell. You look like you're in a zombie apocalypse, and you're literally like gonna fight zombies. And you're taking a shower, and you have dirt all over your chest, and there's
Yeah,
an
it looks like
American flag in the
I'm like
back, and you're
red, like
about to
I'm like intense. I'm like, yo, let's go.
and you
What are
have
you looking
bamboo
at?
like things coming down in that closet, and like if you go through it, you have like all your like guns and shit, and you have
You're the
like posters.
opposite. Yeah, you
I'm
look like
literally like,
you're Michael the
guys,
Archangel. I'm
come
like,
on. Yo, why is it like this, bro?
yo,
Hold on,
that's
ready?
hilarious.
Febreze this bitch.
I got some natural lighting coming in right here. Boom. Now I'm an angel.
Wait, has it been like this the whole time?
Yeah, but it's kind of nice. I
Are you
like it.
serious?
It's been like that for quite some time. There you go.
You.
Clarity. All right,
Yeah,
now that we both fixed our lighting. Um, wow. So
I know,
that
dude.
is some information that we just unpacked. That's it's so interesting.
I felt high as fuck. I could have literally went into a great meditation if I would just keep my eyes closed. And if you kept
Mm.
talking, I would have literally just went into such a deep meditation, Jonathan. Like I felt that for real. So you should do it. You should do a meditation one time, like a guided meditation. It'll be cool.
Hey,
Of your
hey.
subjects.
So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I want I
Stay
want
on topic.
people to think about this. I've been thinking about this
Yeah.
so much. Naturally, if you just watch your thoughts throughout the day, try to catch yourself. Try and see what you're creating in your mind. Try to
Yeah.
see. It might really be so compulsive. It almost guaranteed is. Because if it were up to you, you would not create these hell-like experience of anxiety, fear, failure. So it's happening. These movies, these feelings in your body, feel in your body once you start feeling the worry in your body. See if your mind is playing this movie of failure or of weakness. Notice when it's happening. And whenever it's happening, get so curious about it. Get so curious about it because it's creating your reality and it's not you. It's just happening. It's just a practiced tape that's running in your brain. It's not you. And you can dissolve it. You can dissolve it either by doing these guided meditations to create something new, or you can dissolve it just by watching it with the intensity of your consciousness. When you watch it with the intensity of your consciousness and realize it's not you, it is a thought that is playing on its own. It has its own energy. You would not create this. It's not your creation. It's a practiced thought pattern. Watch it intensely. Watch it try to control your thinking. Watch it try to control your behavior. And be calm. You don't have to fight it. Be calm. Be with it. Let the interest, the intense interest, lean into it with intense interest. When you do this, you'll realize this is not me. When you realize this is not me, you don't feed it, you starve it. You feed it when you let it control you and you start feeling the emotion and you think that you have to be this way and you go along with it. You worry, you react, and the same pattern keeps on getting practiced in your brain.
Mhm.
The same thing that gets perpetuated. But if you just watch it and get perspective on it, breathe with it, and realize this is not me. Every time you do that, you will not give into the same neurological pattern and you will have the freedom to respond And every time you do that, this is called cognitive behavioral therapy, by the way. But it really is just, you don't have to label it. It really is just being interested and watching this thing try to rule you. And it doesn't have to be that way. Every time you don't let it rule you, you watch it with the intensity of your awareness. You get to react, you get to respond instead of react, and that thing will eventually fall away because you're not grooving that thought pattern, and that ingrained river, that ingrained river that was literally in your brain, the neurological grooves of your brain, that the neurons kept on firing in that same pattern will change. Your brain will change, and you will start having the freedom to think differently. So be curious. Notice when the worry, anxiety, and fear happens. Watch it. Do exactly what I just said. And do the visualization to create yourself how you want to be. And you'll notice you won't be as afraid. You won't be as anxious. You won't be as fearful. It won't be an easy process to break free from these practiced thinking patterns. They will try to come. So it's going to be a process. I wish I could snap my fingers and instantly, boom, you are not afraid. You're not anxious. You're never going to worry again. Doesn't work that way. That's not going to work because we've created our self-image and we've practiced these things so much that it's a process to rewire yourself. Who knows? You could change in an instant if you have a strong emotional realization of who you really are, that you don't have to be this way. It happens. It happens. It happens multiple ways. People experience this naturally. They call it a spiritual experience. They call it a revelation, an epiphany. People experience it emotionally. People experience it through different drugs that give them a different view of themselves. People talk about DMT. People talk about ketamine, giving them a different perspective on themselves. Boom, they realize that's not me. I don't have to think that way. Other times, most of the time, it'll be a process of you practicing different thinking over the long term. Boom, you'll start thinking different. You'll start acting different. Who knows how long it'll take? But my story is you don't have to be anxious. I was the most socially anxious person possibly who's lived in Boca Raton. So nervous about middle school, so nervous about everything. You don't have to think that way. And it's not complex, but it's an interesting journey. Gavin, what do you think, man? What are you thinking?
Oh my god. It's like um I just have such a like I don't know. Sometimes when I listen to like self-help, I I just get so bombarded with different ways of doing stuff that I just don't know what to do. Like I just don't know what to do. And it's like I kind of just look around and just it just seems like normal. Like it just seems too like you do this, that happens, you do this, that happens. Like I don't know. So
This
what
is
would
just
you
how
say?
things work. This
It's
isn't
just how
like some
things work.
theory. This is like if you literally just look at it with your own intelligence and you look at what's happening in your thoughts and you really just think about it. This isn't self-help. This is reality. This is the mechanics of your thinking and how it shapes your identity and beliefs. It's just understanding what's really happening. If you look at it intensely enough, with enough curiosity, you would figure this out on your own. You don't need to read a book. If you read a book, then he'll show you what somebody else observed. So it's really just understanding yourself. It's understanding, oh shit, that's what's happening. Oh my god, let me see if this is true. So like going through your day, really see what's happening. See what's happening in your mind.
So you're not necessarily helping yourself. You're it's like it's like you're understand what is going on
Hmm.
um
Yeah.
what would you call it, like a system in a functional way.
Yeah, you're perceiving reality. You're seeing how you work. You're seeing the mechanics of why things happen.
Engineering, would you say it's engineering?
Yeah, whenever you're creating something how you want it to be, it's engineering. So if you're creating your mind how you want it to be, eventually that'll create your self-image and that'll create your actions and your behavior. So you're engineering your mental mechanism how you want it to be. So yeah. So
So for people
um
who don't really know about a lot about engineering, because I don't even know what engineering means, to be honest. I mean, I like um and I never really
just
explored
making
it.
something how you want it to be.
Make it something, and yeah, that's what it is. I think that's really important to understand.
Yeah, if you're curious enough and you seek wisdom enough, you'll discover all these things on your own. You don't need anybody else to tell you. It'll just take longer. So reading is cool if you find the right people to listen
I
to.
disagree with that. I just disagree with that. I don't know. I have to say it because I don't think it'll take longer. I think it just like
It could or couldn't. It depends on the
because you can
clarity
read
of your own
everything about
perception.
everything and still be at square one. That's how I felt. That's why. So
Let's talk about this.
yeah,
So, if you have good enough clarity and perception, you can understand and see everything, right? So you wouldn't have to read Dr. Maxwell Maltz's book to understand how your mind works, how the self-image is created,
yeah,
how to rewire yourself. Um, if you can do that, good for you. You know how many people are at that level, though? You know how many people are so steeped in confusion and darkness and beliefs, they don't know how to think. They can't think clear enough to do that process yet because they're so bogged down by so many delusions, so many false beliefs. So some people don't even care enough. They have beliefs that prevent them from even caring enough to
dude.
think about this kind of stuff.
Can I say
So
something?
you have to be a certain type of person to say, I don't have to read anything. There's nothing to be gotten from reading anything.
Because what was this is a quote from Sonic Guru. Um, what was first the the fact? Oh my god, what is it called? The fact or the print? What was first, the print or what? Oh my god, I wish I thought I knew what it was. Um, yeah, whatever. What were we
Man,
saying?
man, reading is so helpful if you read the right books. Um, honestly, like to take the perspective that you're not going to read anything, that will slow you down a lot.
I do.
Like
I take the perspective. I still I don't know. There's like a big dilemma with me because I
it's
don't read.
pride.
No, it's not pride because I have eye problems with my eyes, and when I like think about using my eyes, I get scared that it's gonna be like the result of getting worse, like as far as like strained eyes. Um,
Will you listen to audiobooks?
yeah, yeah. I haven't found any that I like, to be honest.
Okay, so before I say that as pride, I can't say that for sure. It's like if you think that there's nothing to be learned from anybody else,
No, I
that's
think there
pride.
is. I think there is. I think there is stuff to be learned from other people for sure.
Okay, then reading books is just learning from other people because a book is just their
Yeah.
thoughts.
No, I like reading. No, I'm not gonna lie. I like reading.
It
I
was just
just
your eyes. Okay.
it right now it's like my eyes, and before it wasn't always just my eyes. Before it was like I thought that there's other ways to get knowledge. So I thought YouTube was a great way, like audio, whether it was through YouTube videos or listening to people, or just
Exactly.
experiencing it myself. But I think books are an amazing way because you'll get small snippets of things, and it'll be like you worked for it. It doesn't mean reading can be hard. It can be doesn't mean the work of reading a book is not fun, but you work for to understand what the book has to offer, and it clicks with you for such an immense amount of time that it's sometimes more valuable than just watching a YouTube video and then getting a gem and then doesn't you forget it. You have to rewatch it.
It's all good. Like all these different modalities are good, and certain people absorb it better from sound, certain people absorb it better from reading, certain people absorb it better by doing. Almost everybody absorbs it better by doing it because you got to integrate it and you got to test yourself. If you can teach it, you know it. By doing it, by living it, by putting yourself out there and actually making yourself do the information, you really see if you actually have it, because just listening or just reading,
It's like, what would you rather?
it doesn't mean that it's really you. To test if it's really you, you got to see if you can teach it, do
Yeah,
it.
you gotta do it. That's a big misconception. A lot of people don't do it. A lot of
Get
people
out there
don't
and
put
do
in
it.
the action, bro. You
Get
gotta
out
put in
there.
the
You got to
action.
get out there and do it. You got to
It's
see if
like
you can teach it. After
they
you
don't
see
want
if you can teach
to.
it
Yeah,
and you know it here, you got to see if you have it here.
yeah. You gotta
Put
put the
yourself in a
action.
situation that
Do you want
tests
to
you.
just have all this goodness in here, and you don't want to do put it out and test it out and see what you can do with it? I, I, I wouldn't personally.
Yeah,
I
it's
would
like
I would
you
take
can think
action.
that you're whatever you want, but put yourself in the situation and see how you really are. It's like you can think that you're a saint until life throws a curveball at you and tempts
Yeah,
you, or somebody
it's
comes and
not too
says,
late.
hey, you're an idiot. And then you start thinking all these
It's not too
wicked
late, bro.
thoughts. You think that you're enlightened. somebody
Oh,
somebody
like
this is your shoes, and then you're thinking, that that person, oh my God, that person,
toxic.
why did that person say that? And then you start realizing, wow, like, and then you're honest with yourself and you say, whoo, that ego. I
Oof.
started
I
thinking
know.
that I started tricking
None of my
myself.
business.
Started delusion myself. You're drinking from the cup of delusion. So it's all good. It's impossible to be perfect
What are
right
some other
away.
books that you like on this subject of like worry and
All right,
systems?
so reading, guys, we're gonna dig into Dale Carnegie, How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. I
Dale
got
Carnegie.
I got a couple of cliff notes. We're gonna shoot those off at Gavin Silverman, see what he thinks. So read that book. It's a quick read. You can get audiobook reviews on YouTube. Look into Blinkist if you want 15-minute summaries. Man, I wish that I could get affiliate marketing for that. But that's just my honest opinion of good places to go. Read Dr. Maxwell Maltz, Psycho-Cybernetics, for how to rewire your brain, change your self-image. That is honestly one of the best books you can ever read, period. Full of extremely important insights about how to feel happier. It's not just about the self-image. That is a gem. Um, Read it for sure. For sure, read that. Hey, you ready to react to some cliff notes of
Yeah,
Dale
I
Carnegie?
like it. Let's do
Some
it.
tips, some tips. All
Do
right.
it.
All right. So Gavin Silverman, he starts off the book by saying the Mayo Clinic, the Mayo brothers,
Hey yo.
they
Yo.
made a statement 50% of the people in their hospital are there because of mental disorders and stress here.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
How does that
Oh
make you
yeah.
feel?
It
What the
makes
hell
it
is
feel.
going on?
Usually they're run by their mind, of course. Like I'm. Don't get me wrong. I'm run by my mind a lot. So I could see that happening in other people. I believe it.
Mind is
Makes sense.
body, the brain is the body. If you're thinking thoughts of stress, you're literally poisoning yourself with chemicals and stress hormones. A lot of people are creating their physical sickness by how they're thinking. 50%. 50%.
Yeah.
That is just bizarre.
I trust you on the stats.
Oh, they say mental disorders and stress can cause arthritis, heart disease, and ulcers.
Yeah. I don't know how, but ulcers, like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know about any of them.
Arthritis. The Mayo brothers. This ain't just people talking. The Mayo Clinic, the founders of the Mayo Clinic are talking about arthritis. You think you got arthritis because of typing? Maybe.
Hmm.
But how
Yeah,
much of
right.
it is because
I know
you're
all
literally
video
poisoning
gamers
your
would be
system
like,
day
all
by day?
typers, business people would be like messed up. But um,
We underestimate what our mind
yeah,
is freaking doing to us.
maybe it's
Bizarre
like
stuff.
tension. It's like tension when your body's tense, your mind's tense. Your body gets tense too. Like you start producing chemicals, and it makes it
Yeah.
might exaggerate what you're doing. So if you're going like this, and you're like whatever's tension, it's stress, or whatever, and you go like this, it's gonna be like I don't know how many times worse, but yeah, I believe it.
Anger, stress is creating poison in your system.
Anger and stress.
Whenever you're mentally feeling
Yeah,
not at ease,
yeah.
you're in a state of dis-ease. Why? My
Sneeze.
God, poison in your system. You can
Yeah.
feel it. You can literally feel it.
Does your body work better when you're like happy or when you're sad? Your body works better when you're happy. So
Exactly. It's like we
so
got we
it's
got
like, what do
powerful
you think?
drug factory right here.
Yeah,
It's creating either like
we
life chemicals and hormones or
the
like
plug.
or poison.
Our bodies are the plug to adjust
Hey,
to a different crowd.
people can create disease in their mind. People can create life and healing in their mind.
Yeah.
Deepak Chopra talks about this. He's one of the smartest MDs. Hey, you ready to react to another one? Number
Yes.
2, Dale Carnegie. He says confusion and lack of clarity causes worry.
Confusion and lack of clarity causes worry.
Get
Yeah,
the
because you don't know what.
facts and get the
Yeah,
clarity to worry less.
if you're just like looking like you don't know where the like at nighttime, it's hard to see. So like I don't know. That might be a poor example, but yeah, I've experienced. It's because like you kind of when you kind of experience you have a different perspective. So I think
Yeah,
everyone's
like
been confused before.
yeah, it's like if you don't know how to do the task that you're thinking about doing,
Yeah,
you're naturally going to be like, "Oh my gosh, like I
you
don't
think it's
know what
life
I'm
or
going to
death,
do. I
instinctual,
don't know
like
how
monkey
this thing
brain.
works."
Like it's
Naturally,
that.
you're not going to feel as confident
I
as
know.
if you know exactly how to do it.
Take
Do
it
you
easy.
get worried and stressed to go brush your teeth? No, because you know exactly how to do it. Do you feel worried and stressed about how to do like a
Yeah. Damn.
five addition problems? No, because you know how to do it. You have clarity, you have understanding, you have the facts.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, it's common sense. It seems pretty common sense, but that's another little tip. This is a little tip. Do some research, get the knowledge and understanding. You're gonna feel a little bit more confident. But in the end, hey, even if you don't know how to do something, and even if it's just gonna crash and burn, you can still kind of just laugh at it. It's not the end of the world. So this is a good little tip, but that underlying thing that we are talking about before,
So important to know how this
don't
works. 'Cause if you don't know how it
catastrophize.
works,
Even if you fall flat on your face in a project or a presentation, hey, not the end of the world. Laugh it off, get up. You're gonna be okay. Ready?
yeah. Yeah, I'm
What's he
ready.
gonna say? Gavin Silverman, we're
Yeah.
watching you. What does this say? Oh, okay. It says
Yeah.
get the knowledge and information. Once you have it, analyze it. Once you analyze it, decide. Once you decide, don't double think and change too fast. Legit?
Yeah. Yeah. I think you kind of like it's almost like innate in us. Like, yeah, yeah. It's like you have to run. It's like when I'm gonna give a quick example. Like when you run, you don't think about every step you're gonna take, like how your body's gonna function, how you're gonna get blood to your muscles, and you just go, all right, I'm gonna keep my head up. You just run, like, and so
You're
yeah,
not double thinking. You're
yeah,
not too much in your head. You got the information. You have a hard decision. You gotta get the information. Then you analyze. You're like, okay, I got all this information. It's not the easiest decision. How do I make this
I played the
decision?
devil's advocate on you, but yeah.
Do it.
No, I did. Like, yeah. Wait, what do you mean do it like play the devil's advocate or do it the other thing?
Whatever you want. I don't
Okay.
know. I like the devil's advocate. The devil's
Devil's advocate.
advocate is a fun guy to talk with.
Because I was playing a different perspective. Like when you hear all that, don't just like be like with every decision. Obviously, you're not going to, but you don't go this. Did I skip a step? Like so, sometimes you just have to like flow. And I know I'm like big on that, but there is a time for taking it step by step and going because when you take it step by step, you can be so like you can come out of that like all right, I'm gonna step by step. I'm gonna do everything you just said. I literally forgot because I'm trying to give an example, but I think you catch my vibe. So, yeah,
You can't
yes,
be stuck in analysis paralysis. That's what you're
yeah.
saying.
Do both.
Sometimes
Do
you
both.
gotta get
Like,
sometimes you gotta get 70% of the information that you need and then analyze a little bit and then
yeah,
just make a
do whatever.
decision.
Do
A
whatever.
general never waits to have 100% of the information before he acts. He waits to have enough information. Usually the rule is like 70%.
Yeah.
And then based on that information, he makes a decision and he
Yes.
sticks with it. He
Yes.
sticks with it because if you
Until
keep on
proven
thinking like,
otherwise.
was that the right decision?
I
Should
know.
I have made that other decision? Then you're gonna
Shut
go
up.
back and it's gonna mess up that momentum that you had, and then you're gonna be back in this funk where you're double thinking, worrying. You gotta follow through with the decision that you made because if you doubt it, then you're gonna be back in this like no man's land, and then you're gonna make another decision, and then you're gonna doubt that one, and then you're going to be like, oh, let me take that back. And then you're going to go back to analysis mode and then you're going to try again. But then you're going to think, oh, was that the perfect one? You got to
you
just
can
go with a good one.
you can
There is
definitely
no
see that
perfect
Jonathan's been through this before.
decision.
And
Just go with a good one. There is no
for
perfect
sure.
decision. Make it the right decision by following it through with your own passion to make it work. Boom. Stick with the decision. Don't double think it. Okay. Number 5, he says, live in today. Don't let your mind create miseries from yesterday. Don't let your mind create miseries of tomorrow. Just focus on doing your best today, enjoying today, being happy today, and don't put off your happiness for tomorrow.
Yeah, when you're where else are you gonna be except right now? Like now is like now. Like so, I, even though you think you're living in the future or past, you're really just living here. So you might think you might think and feel that you're living in some in a different place, but no, you're here. So it's either you're gonna get on the horse or you're gonna get lost in the forest. So
Yeah. You gotta okay, so this is a great way to notice if your mind is creating these things that are gonna keep you stuck. So if you feel
yeah,
like your brain is like, I'm thinking about the past and I'm feeling bad about what I did, and oh my God, like that person said that about me.
that's
Once you
okay.
notice that
That's
you're
exciting. Like
thinking these thoughts about like
yeah,
what happened in the past, just
yeah,
realize it, have self-awareness, and then apply what we talked about first. Watch it, put the
that's good.
intense light of your consciousness on it, and do what we talked about before. If you feel your mind trying to go into the future, what's going to happen to me in 10 years? I don't got my life together. What's my career going to be? Am I going to be married? If once you start feeling your mind go from today, just realize it and do what we talked about.
And your mind is not someone separate. It's not just this device that you have to like get like working smoothly. It's like you're doing this to yourself. You just can't catch you can't catch up to notice it in the moment. So you just keep going. Like life doesn't slow down for your ass. It's not gonna slow down and be like, all right, I'm gonna pause and wait for you to catch up, and then okay, now we're on. Come on, Gavin. So, yeah. So yeah, I think that you need to realize that you're when you're living in the past, those moments of living in the past,
They're gonna
you're
try
not
and
living in
come.
the present. So what do you think's gonna happen? That's time that you can be using for the present time and be doing something or not be doing something and relaxing. If you took those 3 seconds to relax and not thinking of the past, you would have already answered your own question. So,
It's like
um,
don't let don't let your brain make miserable thoughts about the past or the future ruin your experience right now.
we're gonna figure it out right now in this present moment. Yes, yes, while
Embrace,
you're watching
embrace right
YouTube.
now. Now, right
Yes.
now
When? Why do you
is
think you
all you
watch
have.
YouTube? What?
Pay attention right now.
Like
Be happy right now.
right now?
Be here and just do your best right now because that's the only way that you're going to start creating anything good.
Like you think you have to act like a oh my god, I'm so happy. Like what do you think? What is happiness? If we were happy right now, how would we look? Like it, when we say be happy, we don't mean like, and I don't want you to like get into a false like state of happiness. Like what's going on? Like so here.
Happiness. When we say happiness, that's just what people really want is just to feel good now and the next moment and the next moment and the
Yeah,
next
they would be
moment.
like, yo, I
How to
got
do
this.
that? That's exactly what we're talking
Like,
about. That's
yo,
exact.
we on
But
a
you got to
roll
start with
here.
right now.
We on a
You got to start with right
restart.
now.
Restart, motherfucker. We here again.
Hey,
Oh, guess
hey,
what? Restart.
Eckhart
Restart.
Tolle
Restart.
fans love this tip. Any Eckhart Tolle fans out there? That's all this guy talks about. The
Yeah.
power of now, being
Power of
here.
now, baby.
You want to hear somebody who committed their whole life to it? Go listen to
Yeah.
Eckhart.
Power
He's
of
gonna.
now.
That's all he can talk about.
Man's
He's
man's like
interesting. This man is
going in slow
interesting.
motion and fast motion in the same time. So,
Oprah endorses this man.
Oprah.
Oprah is obsessed.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey is
Jim
obsessed
Carrey.
with this man. Eckhart Tolle is such a funny person.
Oh, who's that guy? Damn, Ramdas. Ramdas? What's that guy's? Ramdas?
He's cool. I like.
Ramdas is
He
cool.
looks
He
like
doesn't really
such a
talk about the
happy.
present. He's more of like a, ex, a thought explorer, I would say, perspective explorer. So he's cool too.
Yeah, he has a movie on Netflix that I keep seeing in my feed. It's
Really?
like, I'm trying to remember the name of the title. It's like forgetting who you are or like
Oh
becoming
yeah,
nothing,
yo, he's
like
so cool. I listen to him
becoming
so
nothing.
much.
And
I
then
like him. I
the
might listen to
the
him, but
cover is
yeah,
just him
looking up,
like he
right?
just looks mad happy. Like he's just like, oh man, like oh my God, like I can't believe this is happening. Like he seems like a really cool guy. Hey, number six, Dale Carnegie suggests embrace the worst case scenario and remember it will be okay no matter what.
Yeah,
Improve from there.
it would be nice to just embrace the worst scenario,
Worst case
but you can
scenario.
embrace the fact that you can embrace the worst scenario. How about that? How about that, guys? I cannot. I cannot be okay with anxiety. I can't.
Sometimes you have to start with accepting that you can't accept it.
Yeah,
It's a weird thought, but like if you honestly have that
I can't
feeling
accept it.
that you can't, like you can't let go, then you have to
Yeah.
look at that and say, are you going to judge that and feel like crap about that? Can you accept the fact that you feel stuck and that you feel like you can't let go? If you can accept the fact that you feel stuck and can't let go, then you're free. You can start from there.
Like, why
It's
can't you
funny
just
that you might
answer
have
if
to
you
start
you
there.
have to answer it right on the spot. You have to be able to answer genuinely right on the spot. Are you happy? No. Are you happy? Yeah. Yeah, I'm happy. Yeah. Are you sad? Are you anxious? Are you scared? Are you excited? You have to be that's a good practice. That's good practice. Um start asking yourself emotional questions. Start asking start asking yourself and answer it right on the spot. Ask it and then answer it.
What's the worst that can happen? Let's create an example. I want you to like give me an example of something that's like in your life where you were worried, and let's apply this and see what happens. What's something that you're worried about?
Um girls.
Okay, what's the worst that can happen?
Um, they, I get unstable, like, and I can't like bring myself to just like being like chilled out and um like I don't know, not like
What's the worst
frantic.
that can happen if that
Yeah. The
happens?
worst thing that can happen, they like I don't. That's a shoot me in the face. No. Um.
They shoot me in the
Yeah,
face.
dude. They just go. No. So, like I don't know.
Some
Like
gangster
they kind
girls
of
that
it's
you're
like I'm not
approaching.
interested. Please don't talk to me. Or no one's ever done that, and I've acted like not unstable, but like I don't want to paint a bad picture. But yeah, like I've been kind of like, but I'm still aware of it. So yeah.
Does that
Oh.
help if you look at the worst that can happen? Does that help when
Um.
you look at that and you're like, wait, is that it?
It
Like,
depends.
how
It
does that make you
depends.
feel?
Because if I look at it and I'm not able to be like I want to say confident, and say I'm okay with that, then yeah. Because sometimes we might surprise ourselves. Sometimes we might be okay with that worst scenario and not actually realize it until we say it, until we ask the question. And like if they fuck me over or something, if let's say a girl fucks me over, right? Am I okay with it? Like, well, that's hard to say, dude. That's damn. No, no, not. I'm not okay. Like, it's weird when you ask, "Am I okay with it?"
How
Because
would they
like,
fuck you over? What's the worst that they can do to you?
ah, god damn. I want to say, I want to say like, um, cheat. I want to say cheat,
And
but
what'll that do to you?
um, that will make me just like just drop like like wow. Like you just like you fall into something, you're in a story and then it's like you're in a dream and then boom, you're hit with like and it's like such a like
How
wow.
bad will that be?
Um as bad as I want. So
Will you be okay?
will I be okay eventually? I hope so.
Could you move on from there?
Yeah, of course. Of course I can move on. Yeah, I can. But
Did any of that help?
what do you mean?
Does any of that thought process of going through what's the worst that can happen and then coming to the realization that, oh, really? Okay, that's the worst that can happen.
It brings it
I'll
up.
be okay. I would
It
be
brings
okay.
it up. It
Did it
brings
did
it
it
up.
help?
And I think that's how it helps because that's a way that's like a starting point of like all right you need to deal with it so if you when you bring it up in that manner where you ask the question of what's the worst that can happen you kind of bring it up and you just sit down or stand and you deal with it like you deal with
Yeah.
how you're gonna like deal with it before it happens and then when you go into it forget about it like that's a weird thing to like tell someone but it's like
For me, it brings clarity to the fact that it's not really, they can't really hurt you that much. And it's not really as bad as you're feeling it. Because the worst that can happen isn't as bad as what you're feeling and thinking. The worst that can happen, you'll be okay. And from there, you'll be able to work from it. So it's like I do feel like that's a really cool thing. Like that's how I felt when I was thinking about this whole mobile home thing. Like, what's the worst that can happen?
yeah
Even if the thing just exploded, oh,
yeah
oh shit, I would actually be okay. Like,
yeah
hey, like no big deal. Like I'd actually be able to move on. Like, and that's
I
the
know.
truth for almost anything in life. You can come back from almost anything in life, especially if you can look at it like it's just a page in your story.
It could be
You can
such an
laugh
excuse. Dude,
at
I have
it.
another one, but go
You're gonna
ahead.
move on, and no matter what happens, it's all good.
Yeah.
It's just a story. Life's just a play. It's just you're just writing your story. No big deal. Like it's just gonna life is just gonna happen. Eventually one day you're gonna die, just like everybody else, and it's not that big of a deal. It's like we
It's
worry to the
meaningful
point of
though.
sickness because we gotta get up there and talk
Just
to
hear it
people.
counts.
What's the worst that can happen? People are not gonna be impressed with you? Oh no. You think you can move on from that? Yeah, you can. Like people not thinking that you're the shit. And then when you look at it like that, you're just thinking, oh, that's what I'm feeling scared about. Like that's the worst that can happen is
It's
people
like,
aren't
but
going to be
yeah,
impressed by
yeah.
you. Oh man, this doesn't really matter. Oh my God, like I'm just gonna laugh about this. Hey, Dale Carnegie was right about that. I like that. I really like that. It's practical. It really works. And you can improve from there. Hey, real quick, he told a story. He said
Sure.
this guy had such a bad ulcer in his stomach that the doctor said, for sure you're gonna die. This guy was so worried. He wanted to kill himself, but then he just realized, wait, the worst that can happen is I die. Can I accept that? He said, all right, all right. So I'm gonna die.
Oh, can I
Big
go get a
deal.
drink of
So guess
water
what he
and
did?
can you keep talking?
Hold on,
Because
hold
my
on.
throat's hurting me.
Hmm?
Can we get a drink of water? Close up really quick. My throat's killing me
Can you
so
wait
bad.
like 5 minutes? I mean, we
Yeah,
can wrap
five
this. We
minutes.
can wrap
Yeah,
this
I
up in
didn't know
five
how.
minutes.
Okay, okay,
So guess what this guy did, man? He bought a
okay.
casket and he just said, "Okay, I'm gonna die. I accept it. That's the worst that can happen. Let me just buy my casket." This man bought his own casket, and then guess what he did? He went on cruises. He started living the best of his life. He brought his casket with him just in case if he died. He didn't want like just to be a corpse there. He brought a box so that people can put him in. Literally, this man just embraced everything. Went on vacations, lived the rest of his life, and he actually recovered because he stopped worrying and he just accepted, hey, worst that can happen is I die. Um, God, that's such a real example. The worst that can happen is you die, and if you can accept that, like that man, hey, just embrace the rest of your life. Just go and have fun. Relax. The worst that can happen is you die, and that's gonna happen anyway. Relax, right? I mean, number seven, if you can't change it, accept it and love it. Has that resonate with you?
Um, I think you have to move on. I think that what that means to me is that you have to like move on. So like, if you can't change it, then you just have to continue. Like you're gonna continue. Like so.
Like, what's something that is an example that people can't change and they should stop worrying about?
Their parents. Sometimes you can't change your parents, and when you move on, you realize that you realize that you could still be just as happy and not change them, and learn how to, or not even learn how, just
Right.
the
You stop
fuck. Like,
complaining about your
don't
parents.
change them. Don't change. You don't have
Yeah.
better things to do. Like really, I really doubt that. Like I really doubt that you don't have like better things to do. Like than try to change.
Yeah. Yeah. If you can't change it, then stop wasting your energy complaining and worrying. Can you talk about this? Can you talk about people who they don't like how they look and
Hmm.
so they worry and they beat themselves up and they can't change it? What
They put
if
all their
what
eggs
if
in one
you just
basket.
aren't that perfect blonde? What if you're just
Yeah.
not that perfect Jack GI Joe
All
guy?
the eggs in one basket. They put all their eggs in one basket. So when you do that, what do you think's gonna happen? Like like it's simple. So and oftentimes what you're gonna realize is I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not even gonna say it because that's for that person to like.
If you can't change your big nose, seriously, people struggle with such simple things. If you can't change how you look, yet you're continuously feeling like you want to change it. If you
What
can't
means
change it,
more?
stop feeling like you
I
have to
think
change it.
I think
Start
with that,
accepting
yeah.
it and loving it if you can't change it. Move
I think
on.
with that is what
Put
do
your
you
energy
value
somewhere
more? Do
else.
you
You gotta
value the
make
way
that shift.
do you value the way society do you value society more or do you value the way life works? What do you value more? Sometimes it's a given it's a check mark here and a check mark here because sometimes like living outside with no house is not the way I want to live. So so like or do you want to live in as far as beauty, what I think beauty is, let me start there, is I think everyone's beautiful, but not everyone's attractive. That's what I think. And I think that it depends how you see. Like, do you think you're like define beauty like first? Because and I know that's obviously not going through people's head when they say that their nose is like whatever. So like I think everyone's beautiful, but I don't think everyone's attractive. So that's what I have to say about that.
I like that. I like that. So if you feel like you're not attractive, if you feel like you're not beautiful, just know that that's just how you're thinking about yourself. You are beautiful,
Yeah,
especially when you're happy. A smiling face is a beautiful face. Just start feeling, just start feeling happy.
yeah.
Know that you're beautiful because number one, you're a human. You're the peak
Yeah.
of evolution. You're
You're
amazing.
not gonna figure it out. You're not gonna figure it out that you're beautiful. No,
You gotta believe
it's in
that
your making.
that
Like
this
that's the
is
thing. That's
beautiful.
the weird.
Yo, you're a human. Stop judging yourself and
Yeah,
creating here that you're ugly. Because that's all that's happening.
they're in a
You're creating here that
matrix.
you're ugly.
They're in a
But
matrix.
honestly,
But I'm
you are
fucking
a
like,
sophisticated, you're a
oh my
human
god.
being. You're awesome. Like just the fact that you're alive. A tree is beautiful, a squirrel is beautiful, a dog is beautiful. Everything in life
Actually,
has beauty. It's just you have to be able to realize it and see it. So start
yeah.
realizing that.
Like
Like remove that stupid thought that you're ugly and just realize the fact that you're alive and you're a piece of
they
nature.
don't want to be blind.
You are a piece of nature. That's awesome.
They think that if they
You're
don't
beautiful.
acknowledge that their nose is ugly, that they're gonna be joking themselves, and then someone's gonna tell them the truth, and then it's gonna be worse. So they'd rather just own it that their nose is ugly, and then so when people say it's ugly, they already owned it, so they don't have to get shocked with it. So I think that's a big fucking thing, dude. Like, and yeah,
Hey, you can rock the big nose.
dude.
You can rock the big nose. You can rock anything. You don't gotta like bullshit yourself and say that you're a model if you don't have perfect symmetry in the jawline and you're fat. All right, that's not
Yeah,
what we're
I've seen
saying. But
the
we're saying
models and
just
stuff.
feel
No,
happy.
no,
Don't
I'm
focus on
sorry.
like just feel happy. Just feel happy. A smiling face is a beautiful face.
The
Boom.
models have a lot of
Don't focus
judgment
too much.
because
Don't focus too much on looks. Focus on being happy. When you're happy, you're beautiful. Period. Happy people are beautiful people. Hey, man, this has been so fun. We're getting to the 90-minute mark.
definitely feels like
It's like instead of focusing on like worrying, hey, another perspective is like focus on joy, focus on how to be happy, laugh, start feeling different, start thinking different, realize you're not a sad person, you're not a worried person, you're not this or that. Start seeing yourself as like just a piece of life. Like you when you were a kid. Laugh and be happy. Be natural. Create beautiful things in your mind. Don't have an image like you're a failure. Don't have an image like you're a sinner. Don't have an image like you're really anything. Just just relax and enjoy life. Think about what we said. Gavin, dude, that was fun. Full-fledged life, guys. Hey, we're signing out. Every day's a holiday.
every day's holiday.
Every day's vacation. Hey guys, welcome to Disney World. Every morning that you wake up, welcome to Disney World. Life's an adventure if you see it that way. Stay frosty. Merry Christmas.